Welcome to today's video. Today we will be showing you an interesting topic, and this is making your pages fully responsive using GroovePages. This is a very important topic once you design your pages, and let's say you use custom blocks and custom containers and custom elements when you're not using the pre-made templates. Then you actually need to go and make your sites, make your pages to load nicely on tablet view, on mobile view, for everybody that will be watching and visiting your site through different devices. You need to make it so they have a very nice experience when they are browsing your site. So this requires a bit of tweaking your site. Once you design it for a desktop or a laptop view, you actually need to tweak it so that it looks better or good on other devices as well. And in this video today, we'll be going through a couple of simple steps you just need to make sure you do so that you are tweaking your site to look good on smaller devices as well. So we start, and we have already started collecting people over here in our live stream. So in case you are watching, please jump into the comments, just say hi David, I'm here, I'm watching, and then we will start actually going into the topics of today. I will try to make this video short for everybody that is watching, because I want to keep it as non-technical as possible. I want to actually dive in, and I want to show you practical solutions on what you need to do in order to get your site to be mobile responsive. So to actually start, I will share what we'll be working on today. Let me just get out of the presentation, and then I just quickly created a site that looks like this one. I'll be showing you how actually to create a site like this. As you can see, it just has one block. It consists of 3 elements on the page. One is a heading, another one is the description in white, and then a button. So this is what we will be working on today. And if you are just joining in, please say hi. And perfect. So I already am getting a couple of messages here from Syed. He's saying hi David. Tina Joyner saying hi David, thanks so much for all the great training you offer. It's definitely appreciated. Thank you very much, Tina. Mubin Mukhtar is saying hi David. There is Ilya saying boom, Ilya in the house. Awesome. I have a Facebook user here saying good morning David. Good morning to you as well. In case you are not Dean, then I would suggest you to head over to streamyard.com/Facebook. We have a user called Dean, and he just cannot get StreamYard to work for him. But in case you are not Dean, please head over there and then actually activate StreamYard so I can read your name, see your profile image whenever you're commenting. So then later on, in case you have any question, so I can come back and then answer it to you. I have Matrix Structure saying hi Stuart from UK. Awesome, good to have you here, Stuart. Saying hey David. So this is another Facebook user. Please as well head over to streamyard.com and then activate so that I can see your name when you are commenting. I have Curly saying hello. I have another Facebook user. Super glad to attend your live. Thank you very much. Keisha Fox, good morning all. Kasim is saying hello. Good to have you here, Kasim. I have Lina from UK. Lina, in case you can also head over to streamyard.com, please. There is a button in the description of this video, or just type it into your address bar. This will actually let me see your name whenever you are commenting, so I can answer you specifically. Yannick is watching us here, and then Ilya already pasted in the link to the comments. Eldon is here from New Zealand. Hello, David and all. So yeah, we have a good crowd watching us today. So guys, I want to start with a game. So in case you can see something that is on this site that is new, in case you were watching my previous videos, there is something that is new on this site, and I wanted you to be able to see it first. It consists of very simple building blocks, so just a heading, description, and a button. But something on here is new that we didn't have before, and this came with today's deployment, an upgrade. So in case you see what this is, in case you're familiar with a builder, then just type it in the comments and let's see who found it first. This is just a small game I wanted to start with. Janet saying from Vancouver, hi David, thank you for being here for us. Thank you very much, Pablo. And Janet is also here, saying good morning to everybody. So yeah, in case you don't know, just type in don't know. In case you know what that is, then type it in. Okay, Keisha is giving a guess, the background on the page. Good guess, Keisha. I thought that this will be asked. No, the answer is no, this is not something new. However, I will also try to show you how to actually create a background like what I have. Scott Kane is watching. However, Ilya got it right. The background or the icon in the button. And this is the correct answer. So the icon in the button. Previously, we were not able to do icons in the button without the actual text icon. However, from today, with a new deployment that we just did, there is an element called icon button. Okay, so now you can get it into your designs. And actually, when you have something like a Facebook social media or something, Facebook, actually put in a Facebook icon on it and then choose left or right, align the button itself, and then you can create buttons like that. Like this. So you can actually use now the icons as well, which is pretty cool. We didn't have that one before, but now it is available, and this is what we are using today. So yes, Ilya, you got it right. Saying geeky me. Yeah, perfect. But everybody that tried their guesses, thank you very much. And I will be showing you later on how to get this background. So this is possible, and I will show you how. But today we are focusing on getting the site responsive for mobile devices, and I wanted to show you what is possible. As you can see, whenever we do something, it has been modified so that it looks good. But I wanted to show you how I built out this site, so we'll just open a new page and get started immediately. However, I just wanted to mention that I will be doing a Q&A session at the end of the training. So in case you have any questions, please put question in front of your question, or at least letter Q, so that when I read the comments, I can just pinpoint the ones that have Q or question typed in the beginning of it. So I know that this will be a question for me, and I can come back to these very simply later on. The name of this presentation is Basics of Making Pages Fully Responsive. And the reason is because there is 3 levels of customization, of responsiveness, customizations that you can do. And I just want to go through those. So the first one is basic, and the basic consists of sizing and spacing. So whenever you created a site, you pulled in the elements, and then to make it look good on the smaller devices, you just need to size them and space them properly. And basically that is the basic modification or customization what you need to do. There is another level which is more advanced. This is when you are sizing and spacing, but hiding and showing elements on different devices. I created a separate video on how to hide elements to show up and to not show up on different devices. So when you're using all 3 at the same time, this is more advanced. It needs more customization and more time spent on your sites and modifications on your site. Then we have the expert, which is not something that I've seen a lot of people do, but there are instances where you want to actually have a completely different way of showing a mobile site from your desktop site. In case you want to have different images show up on mobile and different images show up on desktop, this is where this complete customization comes in. So to do the expert customization, you would need to hide whole blocks from different devices and then redesign complete new blocks on there, and then just everything that you designed for desktop, hide, and then you start from scratch and design everything especially for mobile. I don't suggest this one because the code will still be staying on your website. It will just not be showing up. But in case you are not there, in case you don't need this complete customization, I suggest the basic and advanced is good enough to actually have your sites look very nice on your devices, on all devices, I mean. REM is the unit which we will be using. There is pixels and there is REM. These are like centimeters and inches. So these are two different units of measurement. But to actually get a really nice looking mobile responsive sites, in our builder we need to use REM, and I will show you a couple of examples later on why. This will be used for so the measurements of sizing and spacing, what we have at this point, are just a temporary solution. Later on we will have a drag and drop solution where you actually click on the border and then you, with your mouse, you drag it out and then you make things bigger on the page. This is coming later on in August and September. This is scheduled for, but until then we can play with the numbers, the REM numbers. As you've seen, padding and margins are increased by these numbers, which are REM numbers, and also the text sizing is also increased by REM. And what else? Yeah, the sizing. So the sizing as well, you can also size it with percentages or REM sizes. So this is what we will be diving in today, and then I want to show you exactly how to get a mobile responsive site that looks like this. I created a site yesterday and I tried to actually make it fully responsive, but there is a couple of elements here that were just giving me issues. So I decided I will create a completely new site with you guys here, show you a couple of tricks that you can also use in your designs. So I will start and design this exact page from scratch. So I go into the blocks, wireframes, and I want to choose an empty container from here. Immediately the first thing I will do is just set up my background, and I want to show you a cool trick which a lot of users don't know yet, and this is something that people were even complaining about, and I just wanted to show you that this is not something that you need to actually fear. You can use this to your advantage, and let me just show you what. So when you go into your images, I want to set this up as my background image. As you can see, this is a 250 by 250 image that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 icons on it. So I can just click select, and then here when I set it up, it is not visible because it is a very small image. It is probably somewhere here behind the empty container. But when I click contain, as you can see, it is now covering the background. And once I put in some text or something on the page, let's just use title and paragraph, it is actually copying it over, so it is repeating the background multiple times. The same image is being copied over, and this is how I got this kind of look and layout. So let me just show you how actually I got into doing that. So I go to contain. You don't have to touch anything here, but what we need to do is set up the background to be a full height. So once we have all the devices selected, everything needs to be pink. We go to sizing, height relative to the page, and then we pull it all the way up, 100 viewable height, okay, or visible height. I'm still not quite sure what that is an abbreviation for, but then you can see that my background also increased. So I can just click contain one more time, and now it is looking nicely set up so that the background is visible. I will just apply some background overlay like that, and now I have a similar background like here, maybe a bit darker so that it looks more clearer. And then when I actually go and set up my colors, I can just choose some bright colors and they will be visible on the black background now. So this is a simple trick that you can use, and I will share out as well a site where you can go and create these kind of awesome patterns. These are called seamless patterns, and there is patternico.com is a page where you can actually create these seamless patterns. Let me just share this link with you guys. I shared it on YouTube, and I will also do it on the Facebook group. There you go, guys. Enjoy, test it out. So what you can do with it is basically start from scratch here in the upper left or right hand side corner, or if you want, you can also modify this. Look at when I click on one of these icons and I just pull them over, it moved. And then if I increase the size of it, it actually updates the rest as well. So if you want to start from scratch, you can click create new. You pull in an icon and then you can create your seamless patterns over here as well. It is looking pretty cool. And then later on, once you're done, you just click download as PNG. You click over here, save image, or sometimes it doesn't work. It still keeps loading. What I do is open image in new tab and just save it from here. So when I save the image, then I can pop it into my GroovePages as a background. So I just wanted to share this cool tool with you that you can use for creating pages like these. But yeah, let's just focus on getting the text set up. So I wanted to build out a page and test something out with reverse psychology. Everybody is like, buy my stuff, but I wanted to do something opposite of that. I will disappoint you guys. If you will not be able to retire at 60 years old as your friends and family. You will not be working all day long, commuting to work for hours as everybody else. So in case you don't want to do that, in case you like how you live your life, don't click here. I wanted to just test out some things like this. Everybody is doing just do this, but I wanted to try it out and don't do this. So this is what I will be using today for this training. Today, I will disappoint you, will be our title. I will double click on this title over here and paste in my text. Over here in the white part, I will just copy over this description here, double click, and then paste in my description. I want to center align everything. So both of these, the yellow text and the white text, both. And then I will just choose the container over here and then make it spaced out. So this is just us setting up our page. Let's just put 16 rem, increase the font. Today I will disappoint you, that's fine. 6 rem is good. And then over here I just want to select the whole text inside and make the size of the text bigger, something like this. Okay, now we are just sorry, we are just missing a button, and I will be using this new button that we have, which is the icon button. We have it here now. We just click inside the container where we place the button, layout, and then center it over here. Actually, I didn't do it correctly. I need to press center it to vertical. So container, vertical, center it in the middle, and then we have the button centered in the middle. We can do text, do not click here. Perfect. And maybe some star to be your icon. Okay. XL, I'll just leave it as it is. Center align left. Okay, perfect. I want the text to be black later on. Maybe this dark gray. I want the font to be bold and just to make the size of the text a bit bigger, like that. So now I have a kind of a similar site built out as I built it out here. I just want to work on the spacing of this one. So I'll select everything here and then I will work with the margins like that, push everything away. Perfect. So now I want to show you actually how it looks like on smaller devices. As you can see, we still need to work a bit on the sizing of the text on a laptop device. On here, it looks kind of okay, but here we just need to work with everything that we have on a tablet and a mobile view. As you can see, even though we set it up, we still need to go into the device itself and just set it up so that it is looking better. So what I usually do is I go with this one. So I finished this, and it is looking pretty okay. Now I just clicked. So basically you click one more time so that your device is chosen what you are going to edit. So when you start, you have all of them chosen. When you click one more time on the responsiveness, to the device that you want to edit, then only this device will be shown up. In case you want to choose a different one, you just click over here. But the next thing that not a lot of users know about is when you click one more time on this one. So then you are designing for this device and all the smaller ones. So for example, if you want to actually edit only the tablet view, now you click one more time on it and only this will be shown. But in case you want to edit the horizontal tablet, the vertical tablet, and the mobile view, you click one more time. So now you will design or modify this one, but the changes will apply also on the vertical tablet and then the mobile view. So this is something that you can play with, but it is actually hard to come back. So once you do something like this, and then for example, now I want to set up a hover effect. So I set up background of the color to be this yellow, but maybe a bit darker, like that. And I want to set up the text color to be here. So when I hover, it is actually changing the hover color. However, I made a mistake and I didn't choose all of these devices. So now when we go to this separate device, the hover is not applied. So you need to be very careful, because when you design something, you really spend a lot of time, and then you dove into actually designing something, let's say for a mobile device, and you made a lot of different changes and customizations, but then you realize that you were editing only that device, and then some of the options were not applied on other ones. So you really need to be taking your eyes up and down to these options, because once you edit it, you can actually apply it. For example, now on my laptop view, it is not applying any hover, but once I go into hover, I can just simply apply it over here again. But it is time consuming, so take care of watching all the time these responsiveness options here. Perfect. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is how the responsiveness selector works. Once you have one device clicked and all of them are pink, you're designing for one, but the changes will apply for every device. When you have only one device selected, one device is pink and the rest is white, you are only editing on that device. So this is very important. Now, yes, I'm receiving a couple of questions there. I will answer them later on. However, I want to just dive into actually sizing and resizing. So for example, on a desktop view, this looks good that this is in the middle of the screen over here, but on a laptop view, I actually want to pull this a bit up. So I only have the laptop view selected over here. So I will go into spacing, and then you can see here I have the button chosen now. This one is green, but the container and this container over here is the one where I applied the inner padding. So I need to go into the one that I changed on a desktop device as well, and I want to just move it up a bit. So I think it looks nicer when it's 8 rem on a desktop, on a laptop device. Let's just go and dive into other devices. As you can see in the horizontal tablet view, it is still giving us this gap on the top. So I will just move it up a bit over here as well. So this is the horizontal tablet view. I can just move it up a bit as well. It is looking much better now. And then on the mobile, I want to move it up as well a bit. And then here we go. So now here it is looking fine. Here is looking fine. Here as well. So what next? I'm in the mobile view now, but I don't like this text is too big. I cannot say it is broken up. So this a point NTU. So I want to actually break this text up to be a bit or make it smaller. So I choose all the text, or you can just click on the text element when you have just one paragraph of text. I will explain you later on why I say that. You select your text, and using the text sizing, you can make it a bit smaller so that it fits the screen. So now you don't have the text broken up into different parts. So disappoint is one word, today, I, will is a each of these is nicely visible one word. You can go into more sizing. For example, if you want it to show up like this, you can. I believe this is looking nice, so I will leave it as it is. However, this text is too big for me. But watch, this part is one paragraph, and this part is another paragraph. And watch what happens when I just click my mouse over here and I want to resize. Only the upper text. Okay, so I didn't break it up, but only the upper text should be changing because these are two separate paragraphs. Yeah, it is doing it now. For some reason, previously it was not. But as I clicked on the upper paragraph, only the upper paragraph is changing, as you can see here. The lower one, it stayed as it was. And this is a new feature that was released previously, I think a week ago or so, that we can now edit different paragraphs with different styling. So I want to add on this paragraph of text, this block of text, I want to make it red, but I want this block of text to stay on white. So now you don't need to pull in a lot of different elements on your page. You can just work with one text element, but different paragraphs can be styled differently, which is, I think it's a good idea. And our developers created this one for a lot of people who were asking, why do I have to have so many elements if I just want a block of text to be separated and modified? So this is why. So now I clicked over here and I resized it to 1.5. This text, as you can see, is still resized to 2.25. So I want to also make it a bit smaller, 1.5. Good. However, now you can see that it is touching both of the sides. And when you're reading on a mobile phone, you're probably scrolling with one hand and then your finger is in the way most of the time. So on mobile, I usually, on smaller devices like mobile and tablet, I suggest you to actually put on some padding. So while you have this text chosen, you select everything over here. You select everything like that, and then you apply spacing padding on left and right, and you push in the text on both sides. For some reason, it didn't select the upper part of the text, but you apply padding on both of these, let's say 1.5. Now it will not be touching the letters will not be touching the borders of the screen. So it will look more professional. It will look more centered, and it will be more easier to read. So you can go into depth of how you want to modify it for yourself, how you think it looks okay, but this is the way to do it. Now I just want to move my button away a bit lower so that it fills out the page a bit. So I just click on the button and move it away using the top margin, something like that. Okay. So I think it looks good. My button is a bit too big, so I can just modify the text on the button. It looks much better now. So now, as you can see, my other devices are still too big, but the mobile is exactly as I want it to be. So the text is sized properly, the padding is applied, and my button is looking nice and readable and visible, and everything is as I would hope to look like on a mobile. So this is the basic styling of responsiveness. We will go through all of these, but when you are actually designing the page, you use a lot of different elements and a lot of different options over here. But when you're resizing, when you're doing this basic resizing, you're just using sizes and spacing. So this is what I'm doing. When I click on the text, I'm resizing it and then spacing it left, right, or center, or doing that using the paddings and margins or the sizing options here. I will show you later on. Okay, so this is looking good. This is looking good as well. I just want to make the the text sized a bit smaller. So I select my text, I go into the text over here, and then I think 4.5 looks great on a vertical tablet. The text is looking good. I would just like to apply some more side padding over here, and then I will select my text paragraphs and apply some more padding on this one to be something like 2.5. This one 2.5 is looking good, and the button is styled nicely. The rest I will leave as it is. On the horizontal tablet view, I want to make this part a bit smaller. 4.5 is looking good as well. Laptop and desktop, now it looks great. So now when we save it and preview it, we can actually test the responsiveness options of this page like that. So when you move it to a smaller device, it will be scrolling, and when we go now smaller and smaller, you will see that the paddings are applied and not allowing the text over here to touch the sides of the whole of the browser. So this is when the responsiveness is good. As you can see over here on this one, it is today I will disappoint you. It is touching the borders of the screen, but this is because the sizing of the screen itself. So this should be like a very wide horizontal tablet view to actually look like this one. So if you want to make sure that this doesn't happen, you can come over here to the actual horizontal and the vertical tablet view, and you can add on some padding to this part of the text as well. So spacing, here we add on some 2 rem, 2.5 rem. Let's leave it at 2.5. We can do it also on this vertical tablet view. We can add on 2.5 rem. Now when we save it, that shouldn't be happening anymore. Let's just test it out. Okay, so we go in there. It is actually still happening, but it is better when we are viewing it over here. As you can see, it is touching on one point only, the borders, but it is very small and it will not be affecting any changes. If somebody's viewing it on a vertical tablet, it is not a big problem. So let me just pull in an image over here and then resize the image. Now we know how to resize text, and the button is looking quite okay. But if we actually want to pull in an image over here and resize it, how would that be working? So let's just pop in an image over here. And I want this to be one of my logos, so I can just pull in this logo over here, update. And as you can see, this is an image. When we pop it to different devices, it is looking sometimes too big. So we can work with a sizing. As you remember, we size and space out elements when doing basic responsiveness. So when we want to actually size things, we just select the element, we go into the sizing, and then here we use the width or the height. In this, I would use the height, because you can actually set the height relative to the page or how you actually want it, and you can resize using this rem methods over here. So now I am editing it for all devices, as you can see. So this should be applied also on other screens. So when I set it up to one height in using this sizing relative to the page, it is keeping it on all the devices. But let's say I want to have it bigger on the desktop. I want to have it a bit smaller on a laptop, 6 rem. I want to have it also 6 rem. Let's just put it 6 on the horizontal tablet view. I want to have it much smaller on the vertical tablet view, and on the mobile I want to have 4 as well. So this is using the sizing option. So spacing and sizing is the one we are using when we are making the sites and pages mobile responsive. So now we have done that one, and I just want to space it out a bit. So spacing is done using the padding and the margins. But when we are viewing mobile, it is looking differently when we are looking over here. So let's say that I want to actually modify the spacing on a vertical tablet view and then the mobile. So I will just click on this one more time. So these two devices are chosen. So I'm modifying it on this device, but on mobile it will be changing as well. So I will click on the image, applying some spacing. Let's just do margin and push everything down using the margin option 1.5. So now we don't have the icon or the logo so close to the text over here. Let's just do 2 like that. So now we have it a bit further away, but these changes applied as well to the mobile responsiveness. When we were changing these two devices, they were applied. However, on these ones, they shouldn't have been applied. Let's just have a look. Spacing. Okay, so they were applied for some reason. However, that is not an issue. It's just that when you select the responsiveness, the software doesn't know that you didn't want that to be changed. So let's just move it back. And then as you can see over here, it is still 2, but now here we change it back. And then it is also popping back to 0 on these 3. So now we change it for this one. It is 2, as you can see over here. But over here, it is not showing up anymore as a 2. So even if you change something, it pops back on a bigger device. So let's say you modify something on a smaller device, but it just changes back on a bigger device. Don't be angry about that. It's just that the software thinks that you wanted this one. So you need to just tell the software, no, thank you very much for helping me out, but I actually want it this way. So once you change it back, once you revert, it will be applying the changes that you did. So this is using the sizing. You can also size using the width and the height. However, and this was a mistake I learned very recently. Previously, I was suggesting people to size using the pixels, and pixels is giving you a lot of different options. So for example, now I want to resize the width using pixels. Pixels, when you resize using pixels, it could give you a lot of trouble later on when you are working with mobile responsiveness, because pixels are not made to be mobile responsive. Pixels are dots on the screen, and then they are actually one dot can be very, very, very tiny on a big device, and then very, very, very big on a small device. So the pixels are not the best option to use when you are when you are building out pages to be responsive. So this is why we need to use REM. So pixels are still an option. However, if you want to have custom-made responsive websites, use the either auto, either relative to the page, or relative to the parent. These 3 are the options I highly suggest you to use when you are working and actually want to have your site looking fully mobile responsive. So this is leaving out the pixels. Another big thing is when you are actually resizing text with pixels. And this is done through here. When you actually use these pixels to be resized, let me just show you. So you just set it up. Okay, I want it a bit bigger. Okay, still a bit bigger, maybe 72 pixels. Now it looks good. But now when I go to a smaller device, it may not look good. I may want to change this one. But then you can actually not modify it using this anymore. You need to modify it here. But then as you changed it, it changed also on the bigger device. And this is happening because the pixels are not a responsive option. This pixels editor is not connected to responsiveness yet. As you can see now, I changed to 56 pixels. It will be 56 pixels over here as well. So this is when you are working on a responsive website. Don't use these pixels over here. Just use these dragging sizing options, because this will get you the options so that you can modify it as you would like it. Basically, the different sizes on each of the devices. if you want here to be 6 rem, if you want here to be 4 rem, if you want here to be 2 rem. This is possible using this feature, but using the pixels over here on the text editor, it is not possible yet. Yes, so that is what I wanted to mention. There are different options when you are working with columns. So let's just try to use something like a 3-column layout. We can do images inside the columns. Okay, not this one, but I actually want to put in image here like that, and then I can choose an image. Let's just use Joshua from yesterday. So in my yesterday's video, I actually created a full contact us page, and I used this image to build it out. So I will use this image today as well. So I want to just resize it using the width and then relative to the parent. The parent now is, you can see here is the image, and then the container is his parent because the image is inside the container. So now the image is being resized according to his parent, which is the container. So the image is getting bigger or smaller within this container, and this is what relative to the parent means. If we increase it, you can see this is now 100%, it is taking up the parent container. If we resize it, the percentages are over here, are basically what's the percent of fill the image filled out this percent of the container itself. So this is relative to the parent. Relative to the page is good when you are working on bigger things like containers and blocks that are taking up a lot of space on the page. Then that is used there. You can also use it here, but it will not give you as good options to modify it, modify certain elements as the relative to the parent. So when you want to decide relative to the parent or relative to the page, you actually need to play with it and then think about when you use relative to the page, it should be probably something big, so that the page is this size, and then if you're increasing an image to be relative to the parent, to be bigger, then you use that one. In case you are using something like this, which is quite small, then you want to use relative to the parent, which you can size according to the parent container which it is placed in. So I want to use Joshua's image at 60%, and I will just use the same image again over here. So click, drag, don't succeed, click, drag, succeed, click, drag, succeed, and then forget to duplicate it. So again, click, drag, and then mess it up, and then you drag it down and you have it. Very simple. No, I'm just joking, guys. So now this is our column, which is a 3-column layout. And I want to actually show how it looks like on smaller devices. And you can see that it doesn't look very good because the block is not covering everything. And then we can go into sizing, and then it is set up to 100% visible height, but we can change it to auto because I wanted the block to be 100% of visible height when you load in the page. So this is when you load in the page, most of the times this is what you see. So this is how it was set up. But once you set it up on auto, it will be taking also the lower parts, that the lower elements that you filled in. So it will give you more space and more background to work with. So now it is looking good on each of the devices because we have a lot of content, more content than what the visible height was previously on these tall devices. So now our background is set, but I want to actually work with these. So as you can see over here, my images are not aligned to the center. If I click on the container and then I go to the layout, I can align them to be spaced out in the center. So now this one is centered, this one is not. I can click again on the container, click on the layout, vertical, center. Again, in this container, layout, vertical, center. Now it is centered on all my devices. And if we check, you can see that they are actually centered. When you come to these vertical mobile or actually vertical tablet and mobile view, it will be stacking them on top of each other. So when you click on one of these images or the container, for example, and you want to space it out from the top and bottom, let's say we want to space it out like this, it will be changing as well on the desktop. So now, as you can see, my previous two images are staying on the top over here, but this image went a bit down. And this is because I didn't choose only one device when I was working with it. So if I go back and then actually take off, or actually I can do that here as well. So if I click on this container, which I spaced out, put it back as it was, and then I only choose this device. So I click on this one and click on it one more time. And then if I space it out like that to REM, these previous devices will be changing as well. But once you put it back, now it should be 0 and only this one should have the styling applied. You see? And now this one also need to be set up to be to REM. So now we have spaced out the first one, the mobile device. We have spaced out the vertical tablet view. We didn't space out, you can see here 0, 0, the horizontal tablet view. We didn't space out the laptop view, and the desktop view stayed as well on 0. So this is how you play with columns. On a wide devices, you will have them displayed in one row. If you are changing over to a horizontal devices, which are mobile and tablet, they will be stacked on top of each other. So the columns are automatically changed. Yeah, so this is basically how to play with the columns as well. When you want to resize columns, this is a different story. It is a bit harder to work with because when you go into the sizing of the columns, it is a bit more tricky. So you need to play with it when you are actually resizing. For example, I don't want them to be so wide. I want them to be a bit smaller. So I'm resizing the layout 3x3. This will also be changing now on all of the devices, and you will probably need to do a bit more tinkering. For example, here I want, because my column is much smaller, now I want my image to be a bit bigger. So then you can go in and then change the sizing of the images itself. So you would need to play with it. You need to play with the sizing and the spacing to have the site looking as you want it to be. But yes, basically these are the basics of getting your sites mobile responsive. So now what we learned is that when you are editing the desktop and you have all the other icons chosen as pink, you're editing for every device. When you click one more time on the device itself, you are editing only one device. If you want to change the device, you click over, but then you will not be changing other devices. You will be changing only this device. So you need to make sure, if you add on some options like hover effects or change different colors, you can do that one on separate devices. For example, let me just change the color of the background on this one, but I don't want them to be changed on other devices. Only on the horizontal tablet view, I want to have a different color button, for example. I wanted to just show you one thing that a lot of people were making mistakes from. If you delete something, so I just want to delete the lemon logo from my mobile device. I click on it and I delete it, and that's it. So now it is gone also from my other devices as well. And this is happening because when you delete something, it is actually getting rid of it from the code itself. When you remove, it is actually taking the image out from the code, the source code that you have access to. It is taking it out from there and then just getting rid of it. So this is not something you want to do in case you want to just have something not appear on a mobile. So I'll put it back, and then I will show you an advanced. So this is the advanced setting, hiding elements on the page. Um, this is the only thing I will be showing you because I went into more depth in a separate video that I did. So I'm editing only the mobile device, as you can see. I want to click on this image, and I want this image to not appear on a mobile device, but on every other device it needs to appear, okay? So this is where I click the image, layout, and I go to none. Now, as you can see, there is some red lines or red crossing lines, checked lines over my image, and the transparency is applied to this image on this device. But when I go to the other one, it will still be showing up none, and this needs to be set back to block. And then here it will not be showing, but here and here and here and here it will be showing. So this is, again, software doesn't know if you want to actually delete it or hide it on every device or just this one. So this is where you need to hide on one device and apply to show on the other devices. So let's just save it and see how it looks like when we are actually resizing the image. It is resizing the screen. It is still showing the image over here, and it is just a ghost of a real image that is showing on the other devices, as you can see. But on this one, it shouldn't show. Let's just test it out. So this is now the desktop device. This is now a tablet device. Sorry, this is now a laptop device. This is a tablet device. This is a vertical tablet, and now we're going over to the mobile view, and we don't have that logo showing anymore because on this device only we hid it. So it is not appearing anymore because we set it up to not appear. But when we scroll it a bit, then it shows up. And there is a more in-depth video on this one if you go to YouTube and you type in hiding elements, Groove. Hiding elements on different screen sizes in GroovePages. So this is a video on the actual advanced responsiveness options, and I wanted to point it out in case you want to do something like that, you can. And here is the link. I will share the link in YouTube and also inside the Facebook chat. In case you are interested in doing something like that, you can. But guys, this is approximately it, what I wanted to say about responsiveness. I will not be going into the expert because this is basically hiding entire blocks and entire designs and then just creating completely new ones for separate devices. So I want this to show up on a desktop, but I want a completely new one. I want here a button. I want here some image over here. I want this to appear on a laptop, for example. So you can do a completely different styling and completely different websites on different devices. This is possible. I don't suggest it, but it is possible. So I didn't want to mention anything about that, just explain what it is. This is not something you will need to do in case you just did what I showed you today. These basic and advanced responsiveness customization, you can actually get your site looking 100% as you want it to look like. But yes, that is approximately it. And now I would like you to guys to ask me what you were struggling with. In case you still have some question about responsiveness, this is the time to ask it. I want to actually, while we are here, to show you what you can do and how you can do it. So let me just go through the questions. Is it possible to integrate with Google Sheet directly without a third party? No, it is not possible at this point, Syed. There is Zapier that is integrating it, but directly to Groove, it is not possible. Is there a limit? How many websites can we have when we are a Platinum member? No. There is no limit, and it is visible on Groove Funnels. groovefunnels.com/upgrade. Once you come over here, you can find all the information needed, and it is showing up here. lifetime access, you actually get all these things. So you get access to all these apps, and in case you want to know more about the GroovePages itself, you have here unlimited project size, unlimited pages, unlimited websites, unlimited funnels, unlimited bandwidth, and the rest. So groovefunnels.com/upgrade is where you would learn about what you actually get as a platinum member. Question from Yannick. Will GrooveVideo come live today? Haven't heard anything about it. Yes, it is going to be coming out today. We had a new update on it, and we wanted to push it out before we actually deploy and publish the software itself. This update was supposed to come in the next couple of days, but as we still can work on it without being published, we decided that we want to just push out this update immediately. It seems like the mobile responsiveness doesn't work all the time. Sometimes when I change the text or the sizing, it changes on every device, even if it is just one on single device. Have you recognized similar bugs? So this, Yannick, is not a bug. This is what I was explaining when you are changing it with pixels. When you actually modify this with pixels, then you cannot modify it on each of the devices. It is not a bug. It is just that pixels are not the responsiveness. When you set it up as a pixel over here, you cannot modify it. So what you would need to do is actually pull in another element of, for example, heading somewhere in here, and then actually you can modify that one. Now my heading is here, so then you need to reapply, you need to redo what you did to actually get the modifications for customization in responsiveness. Okay. I believe there was a question from Eldon that I cannot find anymore. Oh, here we go. Question, what's up with the import feature? Import feature will be coming, Eric. I did an update on that yesterday. This is the last one. I didn't have anything else about that. Does resizing also work on videos? Yes, it is the same thing as on the images. There is no distinction between sizing videos and images. They are the same thing. You should size them not with pixels, but with relative to the parent and page, and then it will be working fabulously. Eldon, so the pop-up text editor is not working with font point sets. It actually works with pixel sets. I'm not quite sure. Let's just test it out. So when we are working with a device over here, and then we work with point sets, you can actually do the same thing. So when we want to apply on desktop to be 6 rem and on the laptop to be 1.25, it is actually working the same thing. You can apply and modify on each of the devices as you want it to be, Eldon. So I'm not quite sure what issues you got stuck in, probably with these pixels, but resize your text using these sizing options and then you will not have any issues. Okay, perfect. How do we import feature already? Okay, this is not a feature at this point yet. It is coming soon. I'm a backer, but still don't see the upgrade, button. I contacted support, but they confirm my account is upgraded. As a backer, what feature should I have that others do have? Basically just the templates at this point. There is no other features in there, but the button itself is not a problem. I still have the upgrade button as well, even though I have everything else activated. So this is not something that you need to follow. But in case you paid for it, you upgraded, and you actually have received all the receipts and everything, the confirmation, just do this one. So when you are using Chrome as your browser, right click, inspect, you come over here to reload, you click and hold, and then you will see the empty cache and hard reload as the third option. You click on that one. This will actually refresh the whole website, start from scratch. Okay, so now you did this inside the GrooveFunnels app. You can close it, and then you log out. Okay, you log out, you log back in using your details, and then you should not see anymore this upgrade button. In case you still see it, it just maybe needs a bit of time to upgrade and to not show up anymore. But the only place where you will be able to see if you have upgraded your account or not is when you go into GroovePages and you don't have the option anymore, which is saying you can only have 3 sites. If you still see that, then you need to try again doing a hard reload, logging out, logging back in. This should get it fixed so that you can do multiple pages than only the 3. So that is it. I don't see any other questions except this one. Where can we find a video on hiding elements on different devices? Joel, I pasted in the link in the Facebook comments over here. You can just search for my comments in the comment section or as well inside the YouTube channel. So you can just go to the YouTube channel and just type in hiding elements groove or GroovePages or something like this. You will find it. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you learned something new about making pages responsive. I hope you will be able to edit your pages and sites so that they are looking exactly as you want them to be. And yes, please go out there, create your sites. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We are doing show and tell Wednesday. So I would like you to apply your sites over there so that we can go and so I can go and give my feedback on it so that you can improve and get bigger results than before. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and then see you in the group. Bye bye.